Hi, welcome to another interesting episode of your favorite football show, the preview show. Yeah, we get to analyze all the trending stories in football and also get to preview the games in the EPL and the La Liga and giving our predictions, our expert predictions. So just hang on with us while I try to get my guests on the show and also try to share the links. Just give us 5 minutes, we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. We are back. We are live. We are live now. Welcome back. Get my guest on. Okay. Welcome to the show, Mr. Ibukun. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Good evening, Godwin. I'm very excited to be here once again. I think this is the second time I'm coming to on your show, and I'm thoroughly excited to be here.
Thank you very much for obliging to join me on the show. Welcome. If you're just joining us, this is the preview show on the complete podcast, football podcast YouTube channel. We have we here where we analyze all the trending stories in football, plus we give our expert analysis and predictions on all games in the EPL and La Liga. So we'll just delve into the first topic for today. It's no longer news that Manchester United and Tottenham are all underperforming in the Premier League. So I want to ask you, Mr. Bukon, is this the end of an era for the top six in the APL? Is it the end of an era, or is there going to be a revival in maybe next season or something? Is this the end of an era? Just want to hear your opinion.
Well, for an era, I don't think that this is the end of an era. They've had a blip. That's Tottenham. Manchester United is more than a blip. And I think that hopefully with Ruben Amorim, they're going to get things right in terms of tactically, in terms of progression, in terms of buying the right players. And that's why I think in this January for Manchester United, you see they've not rushed into the market, even though they've not been performing well, or, and not to just go and buy another player, to buy another talent to add to whatever they have right now in the squad. So I think finally they are being more pragmatic with their approach, making sure that whoever they are picking up, with respect to the team, is going to help the team and not just to for waste. Now, however, for you mentioned Tottenham as well. Tottenham are a very good side. I just think that in the summer they bought a lot of players for the future, and I think that this January they've been also looking at the players that they want to add to their squad, guys who can come in immediately and start playing well. But I think that they have a lot of players that are um, they are not performing well and they are overpaid. There are a lot
Mm.
of players like that. So I think that what they're trying to do also is to get rid of all those kind of players that they do have before they bring in those guys that will help not just the first 11, but the first 16 or 17.
All right. Are you now saying now that what Nottingham Forest and Bournemouth are doing is just let's say they're just something that is temporary, not something that's going to be permanent? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm saying that for Bournemouth, I think that if anybody who knows me knows that I like Andoni Iraola. I was surprised Bournemouth were able to pick him up. I thought he was going to go to maybe the Athletic Bilbao's of this world in Spain, but hey, he's at he's at Bournemouth, and the guy that they got rid of has even left his own job at Wolves. So I don't think I think that at the end of this season he's probably going to leave for a slightly bigger club. I think he's done very well. I'm impressed. You're a coach, so you understand his pressing methods, his automatisms are always, I always doff my hat for it, respected. So for a Bournemouth, I think that they're going to have that decline because whoever they're going to bring, I don't think is going to do as well with the pressing mechanisms, with the style of play like Bournemouth. Now for Nottingham Forest, I think they've every season we see a particular team that just does extra well and then they go back, they revert to mean. And I think that that's what's going to happen next season. Another team is going to come up next season who's going to really push for top four and everybody will be like, whoa, 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 whoa. So I'm not surprised. Good one that they have. They have a very good manager. They have an ambitious owner. But I also think that as ambitious as the owner is, there's a limit to what they can do. And right now, the owner cannot spend the amount of money that is needed for them to go into the Champions League consistently.
All right, thank you very much for your thought there, Mr. Ibukun Oluwa Damilola. All right, if you're just joining us, this is a complete football podcast live show, the favorite show. If you can hear us and you can listen to us, you can drop your comments in the comment section. We'll read it out on the show as the show progresses. All right, we'll go to that second topic. All right, Ganacho. Let's talk about Ganacho now. It's all over the news right now. All over the tabloids, all over the news. What, where do you think he will fit most? Is it in Napoli or in Chelsea? Let me hear your thoughts. Ibuka. Do you think where do you think he will fit most? Is it in Napoli or in Chelsea or at Chelsea?
First of all, Garnacho should stay where he is because I do not
Okay.
think he's given the consistency over the last 18 months, 24 months when he's broken into the side for him to for him to get the for him to get a move where he's playing regularly. So he for Manchester United, he's not earned the shirt where he will be playing regularly and scoring goals. If you see his goals and assists for an attacking player, it's not very good. You know, he scores the odd big goal and all that, but he's not been consistent in terms of where he's going to go into the next, whether the next club or the next move. Now, however, if he's going to go to Chelsea, Chelsea have a plethora of options there. They have Jadon Sancho, they have Murdic. They're playing the position he plays. He also can play from the right, where they also have a lot of options there. He also, I think, his skill set too is good enough for him to play as a false nine. He has the energy, he has the drive, he has um, the confidence, you know, for somebody whose numbers aren't great, is really confident, and he has all those things in both loads. But he's not performing well enough for him to be a starting player in any of these teams. So I don't think he moves the needle for Chelsea. I don't think he moves the needle for Napoli. I think he will do slightly better in Napoli because the league is a bit slower, it's more methodical in their movements, in their progressions. And if they have another fast or pacey player that he is going to help the attack, maybe coming off the bench against bad legs or starting games and all that. And Conte is an elite coach. And if Conte wants him, he already has the plan and where he's going to put him. And I think that Conte can bring out that consistency that Garnacho hasn't shown in mine.
Well, thank you very much. I also think he'll perform better at Napoli than at Chelsea because Chelsea has a plethora of options in their wing position, like you've stated. So I think he's going to perform well at Napoli, given the options that he has. Thank you very much, Mr. Ibukun. Okay, we move to the next topic. Now, Rashford has been freezed out of the Manchester United squad for quite some time now. Do you think Amorim is doing the right thing? What do you think? Hmm.
I think he should have still been playing. Yeah, you know, he's asked for a move, he's requested for a move and all that. But I don't think Man U had the quality of players or attacking talents for them to have ostracized him in terms of him not playing. Because even since last year when he came out and said he was leaving, he was ready to move on to other places. You could see that he was still training with the team, but he wasn't making the match day squads. So I've been thoroughly disappointed with Amorim handling it that way. There's a better way to do things, and who knows what's going on behind the scenes. But I've been disappointed that he's not playing for most of these games. He could, even if he wasn't starting, he could come off the bench to show what he can do, and to also show other teams that, you know, hey, I'm there. I can still score the odd goal for this Manchester United, even though I'm not mentally, I've checked out. My heart is not in this place again, but I still have enough quality to be able to deliver for and deliver and get whatever targets and goals that you guys require me to do. And then, of course, he's on heavy wages. He's on stupendous wages, and those wages are scary. And I think that's why the deal, wherever deal, whether it's Dortmund or it's to AC Milan or it's to Barcelona or it's even to Saudi Arabia, and I think that's why the deal hasn't happened because of the salary. I think it's on about 325K a
Yeah.
week. Yeah, so it's how are they going to structure a loan to buy? Is it a loan to buy, or is it a loan with compulsory options to buy, or is just strictly a loan move, or is it straight buy? How so? There are different ways to look at it, and I think that's the reason why it hasn't happened. But I don't think Amorim has handled it as properly as he should.
All right, thank you very much, Ibukun. I also think you should be playing. I think so. I think you should be playing in the squad. Even if you want to sell your player, I think there's a way you advertise the player for the teams that are wishing to buy him. Let them see the kind of player that they want to buy. So if yeah, if you are freezing him out of the team, how would they see the kind of player that they want to buy? So some players send scouts to come and watch players in opposition players that they want to buy. So if you are freezing him out of the squad, how do you want the scouts to come and watch him? How do you want the people that want to sell, that want to buy him, to see the kind of players they want to buy? So I think Amorim has got his decision wrong in that area, and I think that's not the way to handle things. All right, let's go to the next topic. Manchester City just got a striker, Omar Mamouche. You don't have to pronounce the name, sir. Omar
Yeah,
Mamouche, right?
Mamouche, yeah, he's an
Omar,
Egyptian,
yes, an
25.
Egyptian.
I
Yes.
think it's
So
a good signing.
how do you think he will fit in at Manchester City, given the fact that there's an Erling Haaland playing the same position as him? So how do you think he's going to fit? Do you think he's going to be a second fiddle to Erling Haaland, or just going to be somebody that's becoming for the cup games, for the for the FA Cup games, Carling Cup games, then just one or two Premier League games, just coming in from the bench, just assist Erling Haaland? So how do you think he will fit in?
I think Omar Marmoush uh, gives Pep a lot of ideas, and I think that's why he signed him. Remember when he got to when he got to Hoffenheim, he was playing from the left, and as a winger, he also played from the right. He's also played as a supporting striker, and he's played as also a centre forward. He doesn't play like an AM actually as an attacking midfielder. Now he he can play that role, but he can also play all these other roles. So right now, I'm hearing Doku is not going to be available for the game against Chelsea. So that's an option. He can play from that left. He can also play from the right. He can also play behind um, Eileen Haaland. He can also come off the bench. So he gives him, diverse options for him to play. So I think he's going to get a lot of minutes. I think he's going to get a lot of minutes as a player. I think he's going to get a lot of game time. And can also play with a striker like Erling Haaland because of how intelligent he is, because of how technical he is, how gifted he is in tight spaces. And then he has the thing that we don't talk about Pep's teams, and maybe he wants to get back to doing that. He's shooting from outside of the box. And you can see he has a few goals like that where he shot from outside of the box. Remember, also this season, he's had there was a particular time he went 4 straight weeks scoring a free kick. So he also has that in his locker. So he's a fantastic buy for Pep, and I think that he just re-energizes that attack that they've been, it's been iffy in the last couple of months.
I agree with you. Totally agree with you, Mr. Ibukun. All right. We'll now move straight to the EPL previewing and predictions for the weekend. We'll start with the Liverpool versus Ipswich game. Who is your money on, or what do you think will happen in that game, Mr. Ibukun?
I think it's going to be a comfortable win. It's at Anfield. I think it's going to be a
Yeah.
comfortable win. I don't know what Ipswich is going to do. They just lost 6-0 last week. Of course, they will be hurting, but I don't think they can do much. He has to make a decision about Kieran McKenna has to make a decision about his goalkeeper. Is it Watson is going to be using, or is it Morik is going to be using? I think I prefer Morik. Morik is a better stopper, but he wants to play out of the back, and that's where Watson feels like a better option for him. But for the tenets of being a goalkeeper, I prefer Morik, and I think you should get Morik back into that starting lineup. I think also Sam Morsitu is a very good guy. I like what he does in the midfield, and if they can contain them, because against Man City, they neither contained nor pressed in a low block or mid block. They were just all over the place, and a team of Man City's quality scored 6 in their house. So if they do that, they are going to concede 8. They are going to concede 6. So they should just. If what my best option is, play either a mid block or play a deep
Hello,
line,
bro.
a low block, and then once you do that, you can give yourself a fighting chance. You have a very good attackers up front. But if you're neither pressing high or pressing in mid block, or even doing a plethora of things at the same time, you're going to lose scandalously. So I think it's a straight win for Liverpool.
What's your score prediction?
3-0.
All right, 3-0 for Liverpool from Mr. Ibukun. All right. We go to the next match: Wolves versus Arsenal. Is that another straight win for Arsenal?
They need to start. It's away against Wolves. The first leg they won 2-0. Was a comfortable game. I think it was the first game of the season for Arsenal against Wolves. They are playing a back three now. We're hearing they're the ones interested in picking up Cunha. I think Cunha has been one of the best players in the Premier League over the last maybe 15 months or there about 15 to 18 months. Fabulous. He's about 25, 26. I think the penny has dropped for him. I think he's comfortable in this league. Technically, he's a good player with lasting up front, also a decent centre forward. But I think that Arsenal have just enough for them to get over the line. I think it's going to be a 2-1 kind of scoreline. They've not been keeping clean sheets of late, except in the Champions League, ironically, where they've only conceded to go. So, but I think it's going to be a close game, 2-1 to Arsenal away at
Right, it's
Molina.
gonna be a close game, 2-1 to Arsenal. Okay. The next match is Southampton versus Newcastle. What do you think will happen in that game, Mr. Ibuka? Southampton versus Newcastle. Southampton at home.
Oh, that's a great game that we should expect a very good result from them. Remember, Newcastle lost last week against Brentford 4-1, where Justin Kluivert scored a hat trick. So they will be burning to get back to scoring goals. I think that it's going to be a straight win. I like Ivan Juric. I don't know why he took the job. I think he should have just stayed in Italy. But you know these coaches, and you're a coach. You guys are you guys are crazy people. And he saw an opportunity to coach in the Premier League. I just don't think they have the quality to stay up. They are still on 6 points, and this is match day 2023. So I think it's a
Yeah.
straight win for Newcastle. 3-0.
All right. 3-1 for Newcastle. 3-0. Okay. Brighton versus Everton is our next match to preview. Brighton versus Everton. What do you think?
Brighton gives you opportunities to score. As good as they are technically, as good as the automatisms are, as good as they progress through the thoughts, they always give you an opportunity to score a goal or two. And Everton finally, since David Moyes has come, there seems to be a pulse in terms of their attack. So I think that it's going to be a lot of possession, obviously, for Brighton. But I think that Everton can hold their own. And I think it's going to be a comfortable draw, a 1-1 draw.
A comfortable draw, a 1-1 draw. All right. Bournemouth versus Nottingham Forest is the next game to preview. Bournemouth versus Nottingham Forest. What do you think?
Bournemouth is a I like Andon. I like Iraola, and I think that he's done an awesome job. I like what he's doing with. Remember that their striker is out for the season. Their two strikers are out for the season, and I feel that he will always find ways to win. Semenyo is there. Kluivert is beginning to get into his own at 24, 25. So it's going to be a very fascinating game. But I think that Bournemouth just have enough for them to get over the line.
Okay, Bournemouth just have enough to go over the line against Forest. That was gonna be a very interesting game to watch for neutrals. All right, Man City versus Chelsea, the big game for the weekend.
Yeah,
What
this
do you
is the
think? Do you think Chelsea are gonna get something out of Man City, or do you think Man City is gonna whitewash Chelsea? What do you think?
This is the marquee game of the weekend. We, like you rightly said, and one thing that Man City have shown, even though they've signed a couple of players, two defenders and an attacking player, they need players in the midfield, and their midfielders do not have legs again. Very good technical players all over the place. Kovacic, if you want to put Rico Lewis, Matthew Nunes, who's been playing right back, and but is the central midfielder. Very fine players they do have, of course, and then all the attacking midfielders that they do have, but they don't have legs. And that is where Chelsea also has a bit of strength there. And if Chelsea can sit deep and contain and press and then counter them, they are always going to be chasing shadows because Chelsea have a lot of guys who are physical, who run. They are young players. I think they have the youngest squad in the league. But
Yeah.
tactically, how does Pep combat it? Does he play two DMs in front of his back three. It's going to be fascinating, the tactical things he's going to come up with. You as a coach know that he comes up with crazy ideas. And I think that this is a game where he probably will unleash another crazy idea, because if he's going against them without the legs that Chelsea team do have, it's going to be a whitewash. But it feels like a draw is going to be a fair result. Remember last season, I think they played 1-1, and Chelsea really, really played a very good game. So I think it's going to be a very, very crazy game, but I think it's going to be either 1-1 or 2-2.
All right, either 1-1 or it's going to be a score draw. That's what Mr. Ibokun is saying. It's going to be a score draw. All right, we'll move to the next game without further ado. Tottenham versus Leicester City. What do you think? This match is going to be an interesting match. What do you think?
Yeah,
Tottenham
Van
versus Leicester.
Nistelrooy, Van Nistelrooy took the wrong job, and yeah, you're a Man U fan, so I'm sure you're trying to reach him as well as possible.
Yes,
But
of course.
they don't have players, and you can't rely on 95-year-old Vardy as your as your source of goals. You just feel like if he's not scoring or creating, there's nothing. And we hear Ndidi is on his way out. So they're really, and remember in the championship, Ndidi even started playing as an eight, played as a 10, and they if they lose him together with them losing Dewsbury Hall that they lost to Chelsea, all of a sudden that midfield is very, very lightweight. Those two guys from Tottenham that went there, those two white boys, I'm trying to remember their names now. They've not really done enough for me, and I think that Leicester will lose this game. Tottenham, fortunately for them, their centre halves are coming back. Also, we saw Richarlison coming off the bench over the last couple of games. He's coming back, so they I saw a stat somewhere that Tottenham have the worst injury list this season. They have 97 injuries already this season.
Wow.
Arsenal has
That's,
two, 94. So it's strange, but I think that they have enough. Tottenham have enough for them to start winning again. I
okay,
think
Tottenham have enough for them to
I
start
think both
winning
teams.
again.
Yeah, 3-1 is what I predict.
Okay, 3-1 in favor of Tottenham. All right, we move to the next game. Crystal Palace versus Brentford. Crystal Palace versus Brentford. What do you think? Another interesting match, if you ask me.
Yeah, very interesting match. I like the two coaches. I think Oliver Glasner is a very good coach. Remember he won he won Europa League a couple of seasons ago. I also think that Thomas Frank too is an insanely good coach as well. So it's going to be a clash of two minds, clash of two very good teams. And Brentford they've played City, Arsenal, and Liverpool their last three games all at home. So and they only picked up 2 points out of a possible nine. So they need to get back to winning ways. Crystal Palace's strikers have started scoring finally. So it's going to be a very interesting game. I think tactically, what I see Oliver Glasner doing off the bench is very, very impressive. The tactical changes he makes. And I like Thomas Frank. I think he's a solid coach. And if you're looking for stability, Thomas Frank gives you that. So, but for the game, I think it's going to be a very close game. 2-1 in favor of Brentford.
2-1 in favor of Brentford. Okay, that was a very strong pick from you. I have to admit there because Brentford are away. Okay, Aston Villa versus West Ham. What do you think, Mr. Ebokon?
Aston Villa lost at midweek in the Champions League against Monaco, so they are stretching their squad, because they are playing Champions League where you have to play your best players, and then coming back to the Premier League. Remember, in the Premier League they played 2-2 at Arsenal, so they will be wanting to get back to winning ways, and I think that they have just enough with and remember that they've added another attacking player, Daniel Marlin, to that squad, and I think that he probably will come off the bench earlier in this game. So I think that Aston Villa just have enough to be able to win this game. It's to be a close game, but they have enough.
Your score
1-0.
prediction.
1-0.
All right, 1-0 to Aston Villa. All right, Fulham versus Man United is our last game in the Premier League. Before we move to La Liga. Fulham versus Manchester United. What do you think?
Another very good coach, Marco Silva. We've had two Portuguese coaches. I like them. Very good coaches they are. They show their coaching ability game in, game out, and you're impressed. You admire. You as a coach would be admiring all the automatisms, how they progress the balls through the third and what have you. But I think it's going to be a very, very interesting game for Manchester United. They need to start picking up wins. 2 wins in the last 10 Premier League games for Manchester United is not good enough at any stand, at any, So
Not
they need
good
to get
enough.
a win. Can they? They can. Will they? Time will tell. This looks like a game where one thing I like about Fulham, they do score goals with limited chances being created. So I think that's exactly what's going to happen. 2-2.
2-2. Okay. Manchester United fans will not be happy with this prediction, but what do you have to say? Let's go, Mr.
Well,
Biko, the expert here.
well, you
All
have
right.
the Manchester United fan here, so you can answer that.
All right. I don't want to say anything because if I say anything now, it will be used against me in the court of law. So let me just be quiet. All right, we move to La Liga fixtures. Las Palmas versus Osasuna is our first game in La Liga. Las Palmas versus Osasuna. What do you think?
Las Palmas have enough for them to get over the line, but Osasuna have some very nice players that I when I watch them, I'm like, okay, there's some players somewhere here. There's something there. But Las Palmas, they've been solid, kinda. They've been solid in small bites. So this is a game they have to win, and I think Las Palmas will just edge it.
All right, Las Palmas will edge it. All right. Mallorca versus Real Betis. Mallorca versus Real Betis.
But the real Betis, please stand up because they've been nonsense this season. They've been awful this season. They have a fabulous coach. Yeah, I know they've had a couple of players that left them in the summer, and then one or two major injuries. But thankfully, Isco is back, doing what Isco knows how to do. But they need to start winning. They need to start winning, and I do not think that Mallorca would let them off easy. They have the tall striker that they have, very good striker. His name is skipping my mind now, but he's a solid striker for Mallorca. I think Mallorca have just enough to beat this iteration of Real Betis. So 1-0.
All right, 1-0 to Mallorca. Okay, Atletico Madrid versus Villarreal. Atletico Madrid, Villarreal.
Atletico's winning streak is over. It was over the weekend, so they've started a new one. Brilliant performance against Leverkusen in
Leverkusen,
Champions
yeah.
League. Yeah, brilliant performance. You can't take it from there. They have a long-term injury to Alexander Soloth, so the goals have to come from Julian Alvarez, and that is why he went there. He's the big money signing. He's the big money striker. And Griezmann is slowly getting back to the Griezmann we know, albeit him missing a penalty against Leganes. But I think that Atletico have too much in the tank. It's going to be a KG game. Villarreal will make sure you sweat, you huff and puff. But I think that Atletico just have enough for them to win that game 2-1.
All right, 2-1 to Atletico Madrid against Villarreal. Okay, Sevilla versus Espanyol. Sevilla versus Espanyol.
Yeah, Sevilla are getting back to the Sevilla that we know. They've been winning games here and there and all that. I think it's still going to be they will drag the game. When will we even have a sighting of our own boy Kelechi Iheanacho? There's no pulse there at all. He's been awful
Mhm.
since getting there. Even whether he starts or comes off the bench, he's done nothing for them. But I think that Sevilla and Espanyol, I think they are the same level right now. So I think it's going to be a 1-1 scoreline.
All right, 1-1 scoreline from Sevilla versus Espanyol. All right, Real Valladolid versus Real Madrid. Is it going to be a one-sided game?
No, it's not. It's not going to be a one-sided game. But the penny has dropped for Kylian Mbappe. He's become more comfortable in this team, more comfortable in the role that he's playing as a center forward for Real Madrid, and we're beginning to see the talent that they paid those that amount of money in terms of his wages and his signing on bonus, and they chased him for a minute. So it's not going to be a comfortable one. I know they're going to just just do that. They are crazy Spanish low block that we all see them do at the lower ends of the table, and you have to break them down. So Modric has to rise to the party. Maybe Adegula, Rodrigo, all these they are creative players, and even Jude Bellingham. So I'll have to rise to the party. So I think it's going to be a very cagey game, and Madrid have not been defensively solid, and of course for because of lack of personnel. And maybe David Alaba will start this game because what I've been hearing from the press is that Alaba is close to starting a game, and he probably will start this game. And if he's going to start this game, he has a mistake or two in him right now. He's been out for a very long time. So Real Madrid would edge it, maybe 3-1 or 3-2 kind of scoreline, because I expect that kind of scoreline from both parts.
All right, Real Madrid to edge it 3-1 or 3-2 kind of scoreline. Okay. Rayo Vallecano versus Girona. What do you think? Do you think Girona have what it takes to get something out of Rayo Vallecano?
Well, they've reversed back to me. Remember when we talked about Premier League, how Nottingham Forest went, can they get to Champions League and stay? Girona are having the same issue. They've gotten to Champions League, they picked up some of their key players, and they are reversed back to me. Girona do not have what it takes for them to do much right now in the league. They're just an average side, and I expect them to lose this game.
Okay. Expect Girona to lose the game. All right. Real Sociedad versus Getafe. Real Sociedad versus Getafe.
Two teams that don't know how to score. Real Sociedad struggles to score goals. Getafe, we know they are the king of the mean low block that they do. Crazy team they are. Them with their blue jersey and all that. But it's not going to be a very interesting game. It's going to be an ugly game. Getafe will make sure you know that they're in a game. And he has 1-1 written all over it.
All right. 1-1 all right. Okay. All right. Athletic Bilbao versus Leganes. Athletic Bilbao versus Leganes.
Another team that when you watch them, you see them create tons of chances. They have a lot of exciting players from the Basque country that they are. The two black boys plus the new one that has come to join them. The two brothers, the Williams brothers, plus the new black guy that's come to join them. They have very, very good attacking plays, very good attacking automatisms. I like how they progress the ball through the dots, but they don't score enough goals. They don't score enough goals. So you're going to be, wow, ouch, and all that. And then for people who their tickets, they will be crying out. Yeah. So you see that game, they're going to create a lot of chances and they're going to play 1-1. That's what I see.
Okay, 1-1. It's all written all over the game. That's what Mr. Biko is saying. All right. Barcelona versus Valencia. Where we go? Barcelona versus Valencia. What do you think they want under one-sided game?
Yeah, definitely. Now it depends on how the real Valencia, which Valencia turns up. Is it this one that Carlos Cabrera has been trying to inculcate into them this last couple of weeks, where they are showing that they have a bit of pulse, not just in style of play, but you can see resilience, you can see heart, you can see soul, and you can see great thinking with their style of play. Or is it this Barcelona that are just whitewashing the big teams or struggling to win against a Benfica? They didn't need to. They didn't need to, do the remontada during the week. So I think it's going to be a great game. It's going to be an exciting game. If they allow Pedri to do what Pedri does, it's going to it's going to be a bloodbath. But for this call line, I think 3-1 is going to. They need to start winning. They need to start winning. If Barcelona in this title race, this is the game they need to start winning. They need to put together a run, and I think that they have enough to get a W in this game. So I think it's going to be
All
3-1.
right. It's gonna be a 3-1 scoreline for in favor of Barcelona for Mr. Ibokun. All right. Our last game to preview in the La Liga is Alaves versus Celta Vigo. What do you think?
Celta Figo too are also another side that create plethora of chances. They have the guy that I love so much, Iago Aspas. He's
Yeah,
been there
that's
over
tough.
500. Yes, he's been there over 500 games. Also, they had this guy that has been playing right wing back for them, Oscar Minguez, a very good player. So those two, and they have a couple of options, Borja Iglesias, and also very nice, okay players who are where they are supposed to be. It's going to be a tight game for them, but I think that this game has a draw written over it.
All right, the game has a draw. Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Bukun. We've come to the end of the show. And for everyone that have watched and you're not yet subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel so you can get wonderful content from us every week. I would like to thank my guests. I know he has a tight schedule and we have to drag him to this show. So I will appreciate you, Mr. Bukun. And maybe we'll have you again very soon on the show again.
Yeah, thank you
No,
very
today
much.
just like a one. Today just like a one-on-one. Just me and you. Maybe next time we're gonna have a partner. You're gonna have a partner.
No, no
All right.
wahala, no wahala. Yeah, thank you
Thank you
very
very
much.
much. Thank you very much,
Yeah,
sir. We're gonna have a lovely day.
same here. Cheers.